Don't be short-sighted, don't be a donkey. The way forward, obscured, the bound, stretched, by Henry H. Walker. With distance learning, the bond between teacher and student is stretched, as are the bonds between student and student, as is the bond between student and fully functioning learning. The way forward has become harder to see for teacher and student alike, as if clear air has been replaced by haze. Like the fall on eyeglasses above you with masks. Those masks would protect the body and block clarity in this darkened world. I compare it all to having run mittens and still work the pen and write. But just more weight added to the shell. Students and teachers need to break through to get back to wholehearted learning. Teaching and person, I can most see the possibilities behind eyes, and venture way after way to help the student find way after way to blossom into assertive shortness. Even then, it is an effort to read where they are, who they are, a prodigious effort to craft a community of learners. I feel how hard it is for them to find a way to move forward, to live, venture forward. Taking such a risk comes even harder these days. Too many can find safer to not bring an opinion and discuss, to not share a message, a story, a poem, an idea. This time of distance learning and Zoom and masks in social distancing obscures the way forward. 3 visit ban from Yellowstone after cooking chickens and hot spring. It is illegal to touch or throw objects in the hot springs or other hydrothermal features at the park, the official said. By Tony Diaz and Concepcion de Leon. There was supposed to be a fun family summer trip to Yellowstone National Park. 2 cousins, a neighbor, and their families packed 2 chickens, canoed out 8 hours in the hike to Geyser Basin, where they decided to cook their chickens in a hot spring. But dinner didn't go quite as planned. In fact, it led to 3 of them pleading guilty to petty offenses. They were sentenced to 2 years probation, banned from the park for that period, and fined between $500 and $1,200 according to court documents. The man, park official said, and violated laws governing the use of a national park. It is illegal to go off the boardwalk or designated trails and to touch with throw objects in the hot spring or other hydrothermal features at the park, said Linda Overas, park spokeswoman. It's also dangerous, she added. The water in the park hydrothermal systems can exceed 400 degrees Fahrenheit and can cause severe or fatal burns, she said. The 3, Air Cromwell 49 and Air Cromwell 51, both of Idaho, and Dallas Roberts 41 of Utah, were among groups that a park ranger found after receiving reports of people hiking with cooking pots toward the basin on August 7, as Vera said. Redefine your problems by Steve Pavlina. By looking at a problem from multiple angles, you may spot a creative solution you hadn't considered before. But another approach is to reframe the you find to begin with. For example, suppose you define your problem as how to get a new job during COVID times. Within that problem definition, you can consider many ways to solve the problem. You could work in your resume, look through job postings, fill out applications, ask around to discover unadvertised jobs, and take plenty of other actions. But all the while, you're sticking with the original problem definition that you did get a job. The issue with that frame is that you don't actually need a job. Here are some other ways to redefine a problem instead of needing a job. You need a benefactor. You need a grant. You need to start a business. You need to learn better marketing skills. You need a new degree. You need to reduce expenses. You need to declare bankruptcy. You need to start earning royalties. You need more confidence. You need $10 billion. You need to become a monk. You need a better relationship partner. You need a mastermind group. You need a better one. You need to learn how to survive and thrive prominently without a job. You need a more effective spiritual framework. You need to win the lottery. You need to mentor. You need a better relationship with reality. You need a more creative and disciplined character. You need to become a minimalist. You need to switch countries. You need to master your emotions. The ability to cry. If I shed one tear, I might become Alice, swimming in an ocean of my tears. By Yu Lei. I've been ghost, I told a friend a Friday afternoon when I hadn't been able to reach Julia for days. The following week, I would be out of town, and Julia, I'll change the name, was scheduled to take care of our dog and our younger son in the hours before my husband got home from work, but she replied to a message for confirmation. It was unlike her. The previous 2 summers when we traveled, she had sent multiple photos and video clips from my home in New Jersey to let us know that the dog was happy and the garden was prosperous. On this day I was away, she picked up her sons from school and had dinner with them. She transcribed the conversations of our history, politics, physics, and feminism, internet memes and Tokyo's and rush hours, and sent them to me, accompanied by emojis. Our little cockapoo was attacked by a beetle when it was puppy, and subsequently lost its courage, like Dylan with a wizard device. Our younger son is the reddest boy, and the person close to them, his older brother, died by suicide shortly after Julia. She had befriended both the boy and the dog, as no other adult had. The calls I made to Julia when strange or wasn't, which was full. Increasing attitude, I googled and found the 2 sentence title. Death in the past 16 months, not being a stranger, having taken my older son, my mother-in-law, and my father. I not cried the day that Nancy died, or later, when first my mother-in-law and my father-in-law died. But seeing Julie as a betrayer, I broke into uncontrolled sobs. A friend listened to me cry on the phone and told me that I was crying for the others too. Another friend wrote me that said she too belonged to the delayed crying club, and those tears to collect interest. Scientists find possible signs of life in the clouds of Venus. The discovery of phosphine in the planet's atmosphere could redirect the search for life beyond the Earth. Of Earth's two planet neighbors, Mars and Venus, it is Venus which shines brighter in the sky, comes close to space, and is more similar in size and physical structure, almost Earth-trans. But over the past 60 years, it being tomorrows that science will pay most attention. The current 6 operational spacecraft that orbit around it, and run 2 more on the surface. One of them an extremely sophisticated rover. More are on the way. Venus is observed by a single small satellite. It following the new discovery made with telescopes on Earth. It's Venus, which arguably more likely to harbor the thing that planetary science has come to care about more than anything else, life. The telescopes, the James Craig Maxwell telescopes, JCMT, and Hawaii, and the ALMA in Chile, work not in visible light, with a sub-millimeter and millimeter wave radiation, which lies between infrared light and radio waves. The hot depths of Venus' atmosphere give off a fair bit of radiation with this. The molecules in the column above them absorb some of it as it passes out into space. The specific wavelengths absorbed depend on the molecules doing the observing. As a team of scientists from various institutions has now reported in Nature Astronomy, one of the chemical studies revealed appears to be pH3 or phosphine, a molecule composed of phosphorus and hydrogen. A kind invaluable button. And I'm committed to that possibility. To have a session at 10 p.m. for an hour. A video call every day at 8 with an accountability talk, or you do 2 hours forced work on the call together. A commitment to check in with the church, and a consequence for not doing your commitment. What structure will help you be in action? Create it for yourselves, and then train. Train your action muscle. This is the important part. You can connect possibility and be committed, create a structure, but then you have to actually put it into action. Nothing else matters but this. So train yourself for a week. Each day, be in action, be doing stuff, get shit done. Take on the hard tasks and the small chunks. Check things off your list while feeling the meaning and the possibility of creating. Be in action over and over, and you'll train the action muscle. After a week, a view. How did it go? What needed to be adjusted? What did you learn? How can you keep the training going? So with this in mind, what would you like to commit to today? Contradiction by John Howard. Be safe, feel not afraid. Sanitize, but push forward until one day someone will let back and see how far we've all come. 1,000 forms of protest, each important. The what becomes visible makes the news. In the window, on the lawn, on the car, on the body, through words, through images, through sound. We send messages back to the world. Silence. White enables violence. The most vital message of possibility, of awareness, the fight against nonetheless and distraction. Attention is not currency. Do not give all of yours away. As your space, cloud-powered innovation on and off the planet by Tom King. Today, Microsoft is taking a next giant leap in cloud computing to space. I'm excited to share the work we do to make Azure the platform and eco of choice, mission needs of the space community with Azure Space. The space community is growing rapidly, and innovation is lowering the barriers of access for public and private sector organizations. With Azure Space, we have an ambition to make space connectivity compute increasingly attainable across industries including agriculture, energy, telecommunications, and government. Brought together a team of non-space industry to work alongside world-class product engineers and scientists to build cloud capabilities that meet the unique needs of space. Our intervention areas include simulating space missions, discovering insights from satellite data, speeding innovation both on the ground and in orbit. By partnering with the leaders and space community, we will extend the utility of our Azure capabilities with a worldwide satellite connectivity, unblock cloud computing in more scenarios, and power and customer to achieve more. Imagine lots of tedious steps or one found step by Derek Sivers. If we hate doing something, we think of it that's hard. We picture having many annoying steps. If we love doing something, it seems simple. We think of it as one found step. If you ask someone who hates running how to do it, they'll say, ugh. First you put on running clothes, then you have to stretch, then you put on your shoes, then you go outside, then you get all sweaty, then you have to cool down, then you have to shower, then you have to change. Who has this time? If you ask someone who loves running how to do it, they'll say, easy. You just put on shoes and go. How won't you realize difference? It's helpful to notice how you think of project. Even if you say you want to do something, if you catch yourself thinking of it many tedious steps, maybe you don't really want to do it. Why would you? It sounds awful. People often ask me about starting my company. It must have been so difficult. That's a huge undertaking. How do you manage all that? But I just honestly, there was really nothing to it. Made this website and people like it. That's it. I barely even remember the details. In my head, it was just one found step. Now how to pay attention to that with each new project that start. How many steps am I picturing? I'm not yet ready to abandon the possibility of America. I wrote my books for young people as an invitation to bring about, through hard work, determination, and a big dose of imagination, America finally aligns with all that is best in us. At the end of presidency, Michelle and I boarded Air Force One for the last time. I traveled west for a long deferred break. The mood on the plane was bittersweet. Both of us were drained, physically and emotionally, not only by the labors of previous 8 years, but by the unexpected results of an election in which someone diametrically opposed to everything we stood for had been chosen as my success. Still, having run our leg of the race to inflation, we took satisfaction and know that we've done our very best. And however much I fall into the present, whatever for that field to accomplish, the country was in better shape than in the one I studied. For a month, Michelle and I slept late, ate literary dinners, went for long walks, swam in the ocean, took stock, replenished their friendship, rediscovered their love, and planned for a less eventful but hopefully more satisfying second half. For me, that included writing my presidential memoir. And by the time I sat down with the pens and the yellow pen, I still like writing things around longhand. Finding the computer gives even my roughest draft too smooth to lost, and learns how to bake thoughts for mass of tidiness. I had a clear outline of goods in my head. I had a Kindle reading speed. Some of the people reading long-form text on tablet find high reading speed than in the past, but there's still slower by reading print by Jacob Nielsen. Many companies are betting big that electronic book readers will be one of the main ways people read long-form text in the future. However, such products will succeed only if the reading experience is much better than the misery of reading from PC monitors. Very expensive tablets also do better than computers because they offer high-resolution screens, more comfy reading quality. But tablets that go to printed books, to find out, we conduct readability of people reading fiction on the two highest profile tablets, Apple's iPad, first generation, and Amazon's Kindle 2. Previous studies of iPad application usability, we didn't study a range of user interfaces. Instead, we tested the default iPhone app. Testing a single iPad reader let us more easily compare with the Kindle, which has only one user interface. Also, in contrast to a previous analysis of Kindle content usability, we didn't consider non-linear content, such as web or newspapers. Instead, focused on testing linear narrative content because it's the primary use case for e-book readers. Finally, we did test the many issues related to choosing and installing reading software, not with the test reading UI failed. We taught Spen how to use the reader before we started measuring the reading speeds. When Before You Begin by Steve Pavlina. If you tend to procrastinate on projects, one reason could be that you haven't created a victory in your mind first. When you think about a project that isn't advancing very well, consider these questions. Do you have a clear vision of what success for this project looks like? Can you see your desire and result clearly and in your mind's eye, as you're recalling a vivid memory? Is the path forward relatively clear from start to finish? Can you visualize the key action steps to bring the project to completion? Have you formally decided to do the project now, as in this week, this month, or this quarter? Do you have a reasonably clear understanding of your standard for success and what result would fall short of those standards? Are you confident that you can achieve the result you desire and satisfy your standards? If you must answer no or maybe to any of these questions, it's fair to say you haven't created a victory in your mind yet. Without pre-creation of the mental victory, you are very likely to be plagued by procrastination, delay, excuses, and hesitation. Make something whole. Make something. He was alone in the road. I read a letter outside. Another house is being painted aqua color. Pick up its phone. Open